Welcome back to Horsemanship 101 again. In light of some comments on my last video, I thought it'd be kind of cool to do a video on this subject. I've talked a little bit about it in the past, the difference between, well, being a horseman and anything else, whether it's a trainer, a rider, an instructor, or whatever. There is a difference, and a lot of people really don't understand that there is a difference, you see. And this is something I have mentioned before, that trainers, instructors, riders aren't necessarily horsemen. But generally a horseman can do all of those things. Well, maybe not terribly well, but I mean, it's kind of like the difference between running a program and actually understanding the horse that the program's being run on. Now, I'll give you an example here. If it wasn't for horsemanship, she's wandering away. That little girl over there, I probably would not have been able to successfully train her, because in the hands of a conventional trainer using conventional methods, probably wouldn't have worked on her at all. I had to use horsemanship to learn to understand that horse to the point where we could accomplish something with her. And even though she was at one point in her life adopted out as unrideable, suitable only as a companion horse, we've actually ridden that horse. So even though she was probably, well, we're not quite sure all of her history. She was given to me. Obviously somebody was not very nice to her at some point in her life. And, I don't think she's ever going to be 100% normal. We are always going to have to use our horsemanship to account for the fact that she's a little bit different. Now, here's another one over here. I'm sure that if people used conventional training methods on her, she's a pretty smart horse, learns very quick, they would probably accomplish quite a bit. But they would probably get to a point where they'd still be trying to fix her and not really understanding that she's not broken. She's a weird horse. I did a video talking about her, when I bought her back, the second time I've owned her. And I restarted her right from scratch, thinking that I could fix her problems. And that was when I realized you can't fix what's not broken. She's not broken. She's just different. Very different. And conventional training wouldn't have worked with her. You would have just gotten frustrated to no end trying to fix her, when in fact she wasn't even broken in the first place. Good horsemanship tells you she's not broken. Learning how to train, being a trainer, you'd be frustrating yourself to death trying to fix problems that, well, they aren't there. Not really. This one again. Oh, is she ever dirty today? Happy horse is a dirty horse. She's been rolling. But again, she wasn't treated very nice by a few people. She's had, a bit of a colored past. And if you tried using conventional training methods on her, you may have accomplished something with her, but then again, maybe not. Even in her initial training before I got her, she went through 3 different trainers before one managed to accomplish anything with her. And even at that, I'm not convinced, although they didn't do too bad, I'm not convinced they did everything she needed. So the difference between horsemanship and being a trainer probably wouldn't be able to do a thing with any of these horses. These would be the horses that would get labeled as untrainable. A horseman sees these 3 horses, sees their potential, accommodates their needs, and works with them. And not many people understand that concept, and that's why this channel is labeled Horsemanship 101. It's not about training, it's about a mentality that is involved in working with horses and understanding horses, which in turn can allow you to become a very good trainer. But it's not about that. Horsemanship comes before the training. If you understand the horse and you have good horsemanship, you'll be able to train okay. I've never learned how to train. Nobody ever taught me how to train. I haven't studied under anybody or anything like that. But we do okay. But it's not because I know anything about training horses. It's because I'm a horseman, and that's what I strive to be. I'm not interested in being a trainer, a rider, an instructor. I don't want to show. I don't want to compete. I want to be a horseman. That's what I want to be. And that's what this channel's all about. It's not about training. That's why I don't, one of the many reasons I don't do training videos is that's not what it's about. It's about horsemanship. It's about understanding these animals in a way that most people just don't get it. And, if you tell people that you're a horseman and you're trying to explain the differences, a lot of times you'll get some pretty negative responses, and, people just don't get it. And they think, you got to show them who's boss and do this and that and the other thing. And they get stuck on some very conventional training methods that, well, they work a lot of the time, but they don't work all the time. And a true horseman, they'll make it work all the time. The difference between being a trainer and being a horseman. I suppose one of the other things that would kind of summarize the difference between a horseman and, say, a trainer, rider, somebody that competes, that sort of thing is most of them are obsessed with getting the horse to do something for them instead of doing something to help the horse. The trainer is like, well, you push button A to get the horse to do B. That's kind of how it works. Same with riding and that sort of thing. But a horseman, well, the difference between them and the rest is instead of what can that horse do for me, it's what can I do for that horse. That kind of sums it up. It's a complete reverse mentality, and just part of the bigger picture that I always talk about the importance of a mentality when you're working with horses. Without that mentality, the rest doesn't work so good. But if you got that mentality, part of that mentality is, like I said, the difference between a horseman and everyone else is the difference between what can I do for the horse and what the horse can do for me. That's probably about as simple as you can sum it up. So there you go. Have a good day.